The day they chose her for death, the sky was white and endless. Arava stood within the stone ring carved into the heart of the northern plateau. The ring was ancient. It had once been used for trials of strength and honor. Now it was used for endings. She stood straight. Even among giants, she was immense. Her shoulders were broad as siege towers. Her arms were thick with corded muscle from years of lifting stone and shaping timber. Her dark hair fell in heavy braids down her back. Scars crossed her skin from training and labor. She had been made for greatness. She had failed. The High Elder faced her from across the ring. Around them gathered the clan. Mothers held children close. Young giants stared in uneasy silence. The old watched with hardened eyes. Arava of Stonefall, the elder said, "You have reached 27 summers. You have been paired 7 times. You have conceived none. Do you contest this?" Her voice rolled deep and steady. "I do not." Murmurs passed like wind across tall grass. Infertile. Among giants, that word was worse than weak. It meant wasted resources. It meant food consumed without future gained. The clans had dwindled after decades of war against frost raiders. Every birth was counted. Every womb was precious. Arava's had remained empty. The healers had tried roots, rituals, bloodline matches. The priests had prayed. The elders had waited. Nothing changed. The High Elder raised his staff. "By the law of preservation, your strength returns to the earth." Arava lowered her gaze. She did not fear death. She feared meaninglessness. A voice cut across the air. "Stop." It was small, but it did not tremble. Heads turned toward the outer gate. A human man walked forward alone. He wore travel-stained leathers and carried a long spear tipped with polished steel. No armor, no escort. He stepped to the edge of the sacred ring. "My name is Thomas Hale," he said. "I invoke the old pact. I claim her." The air froze. The pact was ancient. In the first wars, humans and giants had fought side by side. A human of proven honor could claim a giant facing unjust death. The bond was binding. Responsibility absolute. No one had invoked it in 40 years. The High Elder's eyes narrowed. "On what grounds do you claim this giant?" "She is not livestock," Thomas said. "She is a weapon left to rust." Anger stirred among the giants. "She has never seen war," the elder replied. "Because you kept her breeding." Thomas did not shout. He did not kneel. "The northern pass has fallen," he continued. "Raiders hold it. They burn farms and cut trade. My king offers land and title to any who reclaim it. I cannot break that fortress with men alone. But with her, I can." Silence pressed heavy. "And if you fail?" the elder asked. "Then she dies fighting, not kneeling." The words struck harder than any blow. Arava lifted her gaze and looked at the human. He did not look afraid of her size. He did not look impressed. He looked certain. The elders conferred in low tones. The law was clear. A valid claim could not be denied without cause. Thomas offered purpose. If he failed, the problem would solve itself. The High Elder struck his staff against stone. "The claim is accepted. From this moment, her life is yours." The chains were removed. Arava stepped out of the ring. Thomas looked up at her. "Can you walk?" Yes. They left before the sun dipped below the horizon. No farewell was spoken. The road south was scarred by fire. Villages stood empty. Fields lay untended. Tomas explained as they traveled. The pass narrows between two cliffs, he said. They built barricades of timber and iron. They stole 2 ballistae from the garrison. They expect another human charge. They will not expect me, Arava replied. That is the point. On the 7th day they reached the ridge overlooking the pass. Smoke rose from crude towers. Raiders moved behind heavy wooden walls. The narrow valley funneled sound and fear. Tomas crouched behind stone. They rely on fear, he said. Break that and they break. He looked up at her. Are you ready? Arava remembered the ring, the kneeling, the word infertile spoken like a verdict. Yes, then walk. She stepped over the ridge. A horn sounded below. Men scrambled. Ballista crews swung their machines upward. Arava did not run. She walked. The first bolt struck her shoulder and buried deep. Pain flared hot. She gripped the shaft and tore it free without slowing. A second bolt pierced her thigh. Blood ran warm down her leg. She kept walking. Arrows rattled against her skin. Raiders shouted in rising panic. The barricade loomed ahead. Arava placed both hands against the timber wall. She felt every whisper she had endured, every look of pity, every quiet dismissal. She pushed. Wood cracked like dry bone. Iron bands snapped. The wall split down the center and collapsed inward in a roar of splintering ruin. Tomas sprinted through the opening with spear in hand. Arava stepped into the pass. A ballista fired at close range. The bolt shattered against her chest. She roared, seized the machine, and hurled it into the cliff. It exploded into fragments. Raiders fled. Some tried to stand and fight. She swept them aside with the back of her hand. Others dropped weapons and ran screaming into the hills. Within an hour, the pass was silent. Broken timber lay scattered across stone. The air smelled of dust and fear. Tomas stood atop the ruins, breathing hard. It is done. Arava looked down the now open road stretching north and south. It is begun. They rebuilt. Arava hauled stone blocks larger than houses. She carved steps into the cliff face. She raised towers that touched the clouds. Tomas gathered settlers and trained a militia. Caravans returned. Trade resumed. Life crept back into the valley. Children watched her from behind wagons at first. Then one brave girl approached and asked if giants could smile. Arava knelt slowly. Yes, the girl placed her small hand against Arava's finger and laughed. More followed. Arava felt warmth spread through her chest. Not the ache of failed motherhood. Something deeper. Purpose. Months passed. Raiders tested the pass again. They saw her silhouette against the sky and turned back without battle. The settlement grew into a fortress. They named it Jontwatch. One winter morning wagons arrived bearing the sigil of The High Elder descended. You have done much, he said. I have done what I was trained to do, Arava replied. The clans suffer still, he said. Another plague has come. We have lost 2 fertile daughters. Arava felt sorrow, but not shame. The ring stands ready, the elder added. Then tear it down, she answered. The elder stiffened. Our laws preserve us. Your laws almost killed me, she said calmly. Here I guard hundreds. I protect children not of my blood. I build walls that keep winter and war at bay. If worth is only measured by womb, you waste strength." Silence followed. The elder looked around at bustling courtyards, laughing children, thriving trade. "Times change," he murmured. "They must." The elders returned north. Spring came. One day a young giantess stood at the gate, thin and frightened. "They say you left the ring," she said. "I did. They say you cannot bear children. That is true." The young giantess swallowed. "Neither can I." Arava extended her hand. "Then stay." She stayed. Then another came, and another. Some were infertile. Some simply refused to kneel. They trained as warriors. They learned to quarry stone and shape timber. They stood guard beside Arava. When raiders struck other passes, the giantesses of Jontwatch marched to aid them. Victories followed. Slowly the northern clans changed. The stone ring gathered dust. Years passed. On the 10th anniversary of the claim, Tomas stood beside Arava atop the highest tower. "Do you regret leaving?" he asked. "No. Do you regret never bearing a child?" She looked down at the courtyard where human and giant children played together beneath walls she had built. "I bear something greater," she said. "I bear a future where strength is not wasted." Tomas nodded. "I almost turned back that day." "Why did you not?" "Because I was tired of watching good people die to protect old rules." Arava watched the sun sink beyond the mountains. She no longer heard infertile as a curse. It was only a fact. It did not define her. She had not given life in one way. She had given it in another. She was not empty earth. She was a wall against the dark. She was a shield for the small. And she would never kneel in a ring again.